I've discovered that, without taking chances, nothing in life is meaningful. According to Nelson Mandela, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living now. I'm sure this is true of your experiences in school, when you apply to colleges, choose your major, and determine your life goals. I'm sure that you've heard the advice to make sure you have something to fall back on. However, I never understood that idea. If I'm going to fall, I want to fall forward, not back. Because that way, at least, I'll be able to see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish, so pursue your passions, take risks, and don't be afraid to fail. An old IQ test had you draw 5 lines with a pencil within 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to pass this test was to think outside the box and not be afraid to fail big to dream big, but keep in mind that goals without dreams are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out more times than any other player in baseball history, 2,600 times during his career. But people don't talk about his strikeouts. They talk about his home runs. Fall forward. You've probably heard the saying, you have to take risks before, but I want to talk to you about why it's so important. There's no doubt that you will fail at some point in your life. You will lose, humiliate yourself, or suck at something. I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. The 1,000th experiment was the light bulb falling forward. But you know what? I'm telling you to embrace it, because in the acting industry, failure is inevitable. Early in my career, I went in for a job audition for a part in a Broadway musical that seemed perfect for me. That is, until I realized that I couldn't sing. But here's the thing. I didn't give up. Instead, I walked out of there to get ready for the next audition and the one after that. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, but I kept failing and failing and failing, and it didn't matter because, you know what? If you spend enough time in the barbershop, you will eventually get a haircut and be able to take a break. And yes, I did get lucky last year when I performed in a Broadway production of the play Fences. But here's the thing. That production took place in the Court Theater, which is the same location where I had my first audition 30 years earlier. The thing is, all of these graduates have the skills and training necessary to be successful. But do you have the courage to fail? You're not really trying if you succeed every time. Again, let me reiterate, you're not even trying to gain something if you succeed every time. Nothing you could not have imagined had to be done. On your deathbed, surrounded by the angry, disappointed, and outraged spirits of your unrealized potential, the ghosts of the ideas you never pursued and the abilities you never used, are the representations of your unfulfilled potential. We came to you, they say, because you had the potential to save our lives, and now we must go to the grave together. So today I ask you, how many spirits will surround your bed when the time comes for you to pass away? My return from South Africa was recent. Although it's a lovely country, Africa is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to areas that require assistance due to extreme private poverty. Both Japan and the Middle East need your assistance. Alabama is in need of your assistance. Tennessee requires your assistance. Louisiana requires your assistance. Philadelphia is in need of your assistance. We need your help. The world needs it badly. We genuinely do. Young people, we need you to provide it. Not that I speak for the rest of us up here, but I am aware of my advancing years. Young individuals like you need it because, as you may recall, you must go forth and provide whatever you possess, including your time, skills, prayers, and possessions. With what you have, what plans do you have? Not about how much you have, because some of you are majoring in business. A few of you work as sociologists, nurses, or theologians. Some of you are wealthy, some are patient, some are compassionate, some have love, and some have the capacity for prolonged suffering. Whatever your gift may be, what will you do with everything you already possess? Here's my final failure-related point. Your life will never be a straight line, so there are times when it's the best way to determine where you're headed. I was a pre-med student when I started at Fordham University. I enrolled in a course on cardiac morphogenesis. I chose to pursue pre-law and later journalism because I was unable to read, speak, or pass the exam. Because I had no academic concentration, my grades began to climb on their own. The university very kindly advised that it might be best to take some time off because I was 1.8 GPA. I was 20 years old. When I was at my lowest, I was working with my mother in her beauty salon one day. I can still clearly recall the date, March 27, 1975. There was this elderly woman who was regarded as one of the town's elders, and my mother operated a beauty salon up in Mount Vernon. Although I didn't know her personally, every time I looked in the mirror, she was always behind me, staring at me. Every time I looked at her, she simply continued to stare at me. After giving me a series of odd stares, she finally removed the dryer from her head and uttered something that I will never forget. "Young boy, I have a spiritual prophecy," she remarked. In the years that followed, I did exactly what the woman said and spoke to millions of people around the world via my films. She said I would tour the world and speak to millions of people. But what I observe in today's kids gives me hope. The sight of it fortifies me, because taking chances involves more than just applying for jobs. It also entails being open to new ideas and people, as well as being aware of what you know and don't know. What will define you are the risks you take, the people you meet, the ones you love, and your faith. Never give up, never hold back, give it your best, and always remember to fall forward from your falls in life.